Nice. So before we get going into any type of movement, I'll just ask you to just relax. Lying flat on the back. In a position that's comfortable. Sometimes just kind of shuffling around on the shoulders and the hips so that you feel fully connected. Arms just relax out to the side. Just do a quick scan and notice maybe if you're holding onto unnecessary tension. Tension is good in the body, but we want that tension to be mindful and purposeful. So quick scan now if there's tension, particularly in the face. And just try to release that. Maybe there's some tension near the front of the shoulders. Sometimes we unconsciously try to keep the shoulders lifted away from the floor. Just see if you can let go a little bit, let them sink into the mat, let gravity do work. Scan for tension down the arms. Notice if there's any gripping, unconscious gripping through the fingers. Just really let the hands fully relax. Scan the 360-degree tunnel of the trunk. If you're gripping anywhere around the belly, inhibiting the diaphragm. So just try to soften and let the breath move. Just try to relax your muscles all around the pelvis and your glutes. Another place we kind of try to keep shut off. Just let the weight of the hips fall into your mat, the weight of the legs. And check in with the feet. Notice if you're trying to hold your ankles in a certain direction, or you're gripping with your toes, and just relax as much as you can. And with the body fully relaxed, turn your attention to your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Looking to make a sound with the breath, almost like when you're underwater. To whisper in the back of the throat. Match the length of your inhale to the length of your exhale. Start by counting to 4 when you breathe in. There's a brief pause at the top. And count 4 when you breathe out. A brief pause at the bottom. Continue to count your breath. If counting to 4 is comfortable, stretch it to 5. And if 5 is comfortable, stretching it to 6. A few more moments of this. Anytime the mind is pulled away, Just come back to listening to yourself count. And stay with your breath. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on your mat. And then bring the soles of your feet, the bottoms of your feet together, and let your knees just open up to the sides, like a butterfly pose. Good. And just let the weight of the legs hang here. Actively press your feet in together. So about 50% effort, feeling them press in. And then place your palms onto your inner thighs, just wherever they find. And exhale slowly all of your breath out. Hold the breath out. Keep holding it out. When we breathe in, I want you to press your legs into your hands as though you're trying to close your legs together, but your arms aren't going to let that happen. So ready? Inhale slowly for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath. Release your hands, relax your legs, and exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath out. Hands back onto the legs. Try to close the legs, resist with the hands. Inhale for 12, 10. Nope, can't count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath in, and try to just relax completely now as you exhale for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath out, hands find the legs. One more time. You drive how much tension you create. Inhale for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath in. Relaxing completely as you exhale. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep exhaling. 1, and hold the breath out. And just resume a normal breathing pattern, even inhalation and even exhalation. Bring the soles of the feet back onto your mat, keeping your knees bent, and heel toe your feet so they're mat width apart. And just let your legs now, your knees fall from left to right, like little windshield wipers. And just do this a couple of times, getting a nice massage at the top of the glutes, and just starting to mobilize the hips. The next time your knees fall to the left-hand side, just keep them there. And then just lift your head up, and you want to look at your right, or your right thigh. And you want your right thigh to be pointed straight ahead. So most likely you're going to have to heel toe your right foot off to the right a little bit. It'll probably come off your mat. And now press out through the right heel, pull the toes back towards the shin, and then relax your head back down. Reach your arms over your head. If you have tighter shoulders, you can keep the elbows bent. Good. And now think of trying to kind of lift your right butt cheek off of the mat a little bit to help your right knee get a little closer to the floor. If this feels good, stay right here. If you want a little extra, you're going to place the left ankle onto your right thigh, just above the knee. And it's going to kind of weight the leg down a little bit further. Good. Let both knees just relax to the floor. Taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Think of pressing both knees forward, lengthening through your waist. Full breath in, fill the rib cage. Full breath out. Release that top foot if it's hooked onto the thigh, and then let the legs wash left and right again, just like we started. Let them flop from side to side at your own pace. The next time that your knees fall to the right side of your mat this time, keep them there. Lift your head up so that you can check in with your left leg. You want your left leg pointed straight ahead. So again, most likely your left foot is gonna have to heel toe off to the side. Press out through both heels as though you're standing on your feet. And now this time, think of trying to just bridge your left butt cheek off of the mat, just another inch, as you think of lengthening both knees forward. The same option to hook the right ankle this time over the left thigh is there for you if you want it. No need to do that. Arms overhead if they're not already. And just taking nice long breaths. Maybe counting the breath in again if you like that. And counting the breath out. Two more breaths. Feel like the ribs are lengthening away from your hips. If your right foot is hooked on top of the thigh, take it off and let the knees fall left and right again a handful of times, just washing them back and forth. Next time you pass through center, you're going to keep your feet flat, draw both knees into your chest, but keep them that wide, and just take your hands onto your shins and pull your knees as though they could come right into your armpits. Left knee towards left armpit, right knee towards right armpits. And just see how tight you can hug them in. Yeah, if it feels good, lift your head up, curl into a little ball. Now we're going to take happy baby. So keeping the knees wide, reach your arms to the insides of your legs and grab on to either the ankles or the outer edges of your feet, whatever you can grab a hold of. And then try to relax your head and your shoulders back down. Now take your feet nice and wide, and the soles of the feet should point straight up to your ceiling or to your sky if you're outside. And just really pull down on the outer edges of your feet as though your knees can touch the floor by your armpits. Rock a little to the right, rock a little to the left, get a nice little massage again through that lower back, maybe the top of the glutes. Good. Miles, try to keep your feet a little wider apart. Yeah, nice. All right, find some stillness now and just really pull down on the feet one more time. Great. Keep the knees bent, release your feet flat onto the floor, and then you're going to roll onto your sides so you can spin around onto your hands and your knees, coming into a tabletop position or a four-pointed base. So you want your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. We'll curl the toes under. So we'll start by arching the back, let the belly drop towards the floor, open the chest and lift the chin so you're looking straight ahead. Again, take a breath in here. And as you exhale now, you're gonna round the spine. And as you round the spine, send your hips towards your heels. And they might come a little to your heels or they might come all the way to your heels. Just stretch them as far back as it feels good. Get a nice stretch through your lower back. Good. So Robert, try to round your back like a cat. Yeah, more. Yes. And then send your hips back towards your heels if you can to see how far they can go. Good. I'm going to flow through this. So as you inhale, arching the spine, as you shift your weight forward, shoulders over the wrists, lift your chin, look forward. Exhale, round your back like a cat and send your hips back towards your heels again. Good. Inhale, arching through the spine, shift the weight forward, lift the chin. Exhale, rounding through the back, send your weight to your heels. 2 more times. Inhale, arching through the spine, lift the gaze. Don't worry if your head or behind my count. Exhale, round the spine and send your hips to your heels. Last time, inhale, arching the back, shifting forward, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding the back and sending your hips maybe all the way to your heels, getting a nice stretch through the low back. Okay. As you inhale, come forward again, arch through the back, lift the chin. And I want you to stay here. So don't move your hips anymore, but now walk your hands as far forward as you can get them and take them as wide as your mat. We're coming into a puppy's pose. This is a really great stretch for your chest. And now sink your chest towards the floor. Let your head hang in between your arms. If the shoulders are going to allow it, bring your forehead all the way to the mat. Activate your arms so they're really strong. So Mark, Richard, just send your hips back more so they're stacked on top of your knees. Even more. Even more. Keep going. Yes, there you go. Perfect. And then think of firming your armpits, like trying to activate the muscles in your armpits. Good. With every inhale, feel the spine lengthen. With every exhale, feel the chest sink towards the floor. If the shoulders feel open, you can start to walk your hands closer together. Nice. I'm taking 3 more deep breaths. Hear the sound of your breath just echoing between your ears. All right, lift your head and walk your hands back underneath your shoulders back into tabletop. So that 4-pointed base. We're gonna do some hip rotation. So in your tabletop, I want you to feel what feels like a neutral spine to you, okay? And we're gonna try not to move the spine in our tabletop. From here, bend your right knee more so that your heel comes towards your butt cheek. Your foot will come off of your mat. And feel that activation in your hamstring, really strong through the leg. Now keep that activation in your hamstring and now lift your right knee off of your mat so your thigh is parallel to the floor. So lift it up. Yes, there you go, Robert. Parallel to the floor. Perfect. Okay. Now remember, we're going to try not to move the spine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, pull the right thigh as close to your belly as you can get it without rounding your back. So it's not a huge movement. Thigh to your belly. Yes. Knee to your chest. Good. Now from here, you're going to take your leg out to the side. Think of what a male dog looks like when he's peeing. Yes, just like that. And keep it there. Keep it lifted. Nice. Now take the leg back behind you as though you're trying to lift the sole of the foot to the ceiling and hug it back to the midline. Hold it there. And then as you exhale, pull the right knee back into your chest again. So we're going to do these rotations a couple of times. Just do them on your own. Quality over quantity. Trying to isolate the movement to the thigh. Nice smiles. Good, Robert. Nice, Sarah. Try to keep that left arm nice and straight, nice and strong. Good. Let's do 2 more. Okay, the next time that your right leg is out to the right and you look like a dog peeing, we're going to keep it there. Good. Keep it out to the right. See how high you can lift it and really press down through your left knee. Take a breath in. Come onto your right fingertips. And as you exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Just haul it up there. Nice. All right. Bring your hands to your hips and stack your shoulders over your hips so you're in a lunging position. As you take a breath in, use your hands and think of pressing your hips down and lifting your chest up. And as you exhale, lunge as deep as you can into your front thigh, ideally making the knee go past the ankle as long as the foot can stay flat. Good. Yeah, take your time. Nice. Then as you inhale back out of the lunge, about halfway, slow and steady. And as you exhale, lunge back in and just use your breath to go into that lunge, just seeing how far you can go. Good. Inhale back out of the lunge about halfway. Exhale, you're gonna go right back in. See if you can go a little bit further. Last time, inhale, back out about halfway. And exhale, we're gonna go right back in. So staying here in this lunge, reach your arms down to your sides as though you could touch your mat with your fingertips. Turn your palms open to the sides of your room, and then inhale, lift your arms up into the air. Take a big stretch. And as you exhale, see if the hips can sink down even lower. Keep the hips that low. Inhale, lift your arms higher. Exhale, see how low the hips can get. One more time. Inhale, stretch the arms up higher. Exhale, see how low the hips can get. From here, we're going to twist. You're going to take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Think of bringing the left side of your rib cage over towards your inner right thigh. And as your right palm connects to your left palm, press it down. Really press that right palm as hard as you can into your left palm to really make that twist move through your entire spine. Good. Curl your back toes under, and let's lift the back knee off of the mat, keeping that twist. Take a breath in, press out through that back heel. As you exhale, twist even further. One more time. Inhale, feel long from heel to head. Exhale, twist even further. As you inhale, release your hands to the inside of your right foot. You're going to pivot your left heel in 90 degrees. So the pinky toe edge of your left foot will be parallel to the back of your mat. Okay, so your legs look like warrior two, if anyone's familiar with that. This one I call a lunging dog. So the legs are going to stay the same, and you're going to walk your hands off the left side of your mat about 45 degrees. So you have almost a little pizza slice between your right arm and your inner right thigh. Good. So Robert, turn your right toes forward and bring your foot back on the mat. Yeah, lift your left knee. Yeah, and then turn your left heel in 90 degrees. Perfect. Now walk your hands over towards that green shelf as far as you can. Hands reach as far away as you can, and you're going to press through your palms. Try to keep sending the hips up and back, getting a nice stretch through the groin. Good. Big breath in and a big breath out. This next thing is called a half squat. So you're going to turn your left foot out a little bit, about 45 degrees or low drop stance. Start to bend into your left knee and shift your hips over towards your left foot as you straighten your right leg. Your right toes are going to face the ceiling, and you're going to sink your hips as low down as you can without letting the left heel come off the mat. So just depending on your ankle mobility is going to determine how low the hips will settle. Hands can stay on the floor the entire time, or you can start to play with lifting your hands off of the mat. Take a breath in. You're going to keep your hips this low, and we're going to shuffle left to right. So as you exhale, go to the right side. So bending your right knee, straighten your left leg, your left toes face the ceiling. Good. And all I want you to do is go back and forth a couple of times, move at your own pace. Like I said, hands can stay on the mat the entire time, or you can do this with no hands at any point. Shuffling side to side, mobilizing the hips. Try to stay as low as you can in transition. Good, Miles. So Preston, bend your right knee and come to shift into the other side. Straighten your left leg. Yeah, it's the same pose, but opposite leg. Perfect. And then you're just going to go back and forth there, Preston. That's it. Awesome. Let's do one more. Okay, so the next time your left knee is bent, you're going to stay here so that we're all on the same page. Okay. Now we're going to bend into the right knee again, and this time we're going to take our hands to frame the right foot and turn all 10 toes forward. It's almost like you're in a lunge. Place your left knee down. Spin your left foot off the side of your mat and take your right leg straight back behind you in the air, lifting your right arm. So it's kind of like a side plank position. This is really good to balance all the hip stretching because you need hip strength for full mobility and full range. Nice. Right arm lifting, right leg is lifting. From here, bend your right knee and pull it into your chest so that your right hand can grab onto either the right shin, the ankle, or the foot, whatever it can grab a hold of. It doesn't really matter. Now think of pressing your right knee towards the back of your mat as your chest opens, maybe starting to kick the foot into the hand as the shoulder rolls back, getting another nice opening through the front of the hip. Perfect. You can look down for balance, or you can start to play with the gates. So you can be looking up or off to the side, whatever's going to challenge you here. Take a few deep breaths. Still trying to count that breath in and out. From here, we're going to release the grip on the foot and plant the right foot at the back of the mat. Take the right hand back down into the floor and come into a high plank position or a high push-up. Shoulders over the wrists, take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, and we're gonna lower all the way down. Reach your arms out in front of you, but keep your chest and your head lifted. Really press the toenails into the floor so your legs feel nice and strong. Now, as you inhale, you're gonna lift your chest higher and imagine like you're rowing, and you're gonna bend your elbows and pull back. Pull your elbows as close to your hips as you can, opening your chest, getting nice and strong through that back chain. Keep bending your elbows and draw them back. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, release the forehead and the chest back down. You're gonna stretch your right arm out to the side so that your right shoulder, elbow, and palm are in the same line. It's almost like a T position with your right arm. Good. Place your left hand just by your chest, and you're gonna slowly roll onto your right side. So rolling to stack the left shoulder on top of the right, the left hip on top of the right, and the left leg and foot on top of the right. Take a brief pause, try to spread the fingers of the right hand and really press the palm down into the floor. I want you to still keep the front of the shoulder connected to your mat. If this feels good, you can bend your top knee, your left knee, and place the ball of the foot behind you and try to open the front of your hips to the ceiling, getting a nice twist. Hearing your breath. As you inhale, let's come back through center, lying on your belly. You're going to stretch your left arm out to the side now, so it's in that T position. Bring your right palm underneath you and rolling onto your left side this time, stretching into the front of the left shoulder capsule. Same option to bend that top knee and place the ball of the foot behind you, rolling the front of the hips open to your ceiling, but try to keep that left palm pressing down, feeling the left forearm, even the left upper arm, staying connected to your mat. And inhale, coming all the way back through center, lying on your belly. I'm going to slide both hands in by the waistline, elbows bent and point to the ceiling. As you inhale, lift into upward facing dog. So straighten the arms, lift the chest, and open through the collarbones, firm the thighs. And as you exhale, we're going to come back into tabletop. So that 4-pointed base, we're going to start that same sequence again on the other side. So from here, bend your left knee more so that your left heel comes towards your glute. The knee is still going to be down. I just want you to feel that strength in the hamstring to start. Now you're going to lift the left knee off the mat so the left thigh is parallel to the floor. It's almost like you're serving the sole of your foot up to your ceiling. Good. So neutral spine, neutral pelvis, take a breath in. And as you exhale, pull the left thigh towards your chest without disrupting the spine very much. And just see where it goes, holding it there. Nice. Now take it out to the side, our dog peeing pose, and just see where it goes. Notice if you're tilting to the right, try to remain neutral. And then lift that leg up into the air as you swing it behind you and draw it back to midline. And so here's your rotations. You can just flow through them on your own, trying to isolate the movement solely to that left leg and that left hip. Good, trying to keep the arms straight and strong as you flow. Good, Mark. Nice, Robert. Couple more times. The next time that your left leg is out to the left, lifted like that dog peeing, we're gonna keep it there. And I want you to see how high you can lift it without shifting into the right side too much. Keep it up, keep it up. And now pop up onto your left fingertips and step your left foot forward between your hands. Good. Take your hands to your hips and rise into a little lunge position, shoulders stacked over the hips. Good. Try not to grip with the front toes. So Robert, for this first one, you can keep your back knee down. Yeah, nice. So as you inhale now, back out of the lunge about 50% of the way. And then as you exhale, lunge into the lunge as far as you can. Let the knee go past the ankle as long as the heel stays flat. Good. Inhale, back out about 50%. And exhale, go back in. And just do this another 3 or 4 times on your own breath. Good. Good, Mark. Nice, Preston. The next time that you're in that lunge, you're going to stay there. No rush to get there. Good. Staying in that lunge, shoulders over the hips. So try not to lean the chest forward too much. Yeah, lean it back there a little bit, Miles. Just roll the shoulders back and down. Now reach your arms down towards the floor, open your palms out to the sides of your room, and then inhale, lift the arms up into the air, come into a lunge. As you inhale, reach up higher with the arms, reach up with the chest. Exhale, lunge deeper into your front knee. Inhale, reach up higher like you could actually grow the bones of your arms. And exhale, let the hips sink lower. Last time, inhale, reach up with the arms, you can look up. Exhale, let the hips really sink. Inhale here, we're going to twist. Exhale, take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Think of pulling the right side of your rib cage over to the leg as the palms touch. And then really press your left palm down into your right palm to rotate all the way up through the crown of your head. And you can picture my hands gently pressing onto the tops of your shoulders here. And what that would feel like if you were going to resist me. It would make you lengthen your neck as though you're pulling your ears away from your shoulder girdle. And taking a big breath in. Exhale, see if you can twist a little bit further. Good. Inhale, release your hands to the inside of your left foot. Pick your right knee up and then pivot your right foot in about 90 degrees. So the pinky toe edge of the foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Good. Legs stay the same. You're going to walk your hands off the right side of your mat. So you have about a 45-degree angle between your left knee and your left arm. And walk your arms out as far as you can. And then the test here to ensure that this is working your hips and not in your shoulders is you should be able to actually lift your hands off of the mat. And if you can't lift your hands off the mat without face planting, then you know the work is going into your upper body. And you really want this to be in your lower body. So I encourage you to tent up onto your fingertips and just kind of play where the distribution of weight is. Nice, Mark. That's exactly it. Good. Nice. Sarah. Really nice. Take a couple deep breaths. Good. All right, we're coming into that half squat. So from here, you're going to turn your right toes out a little bit, bend into your right knee and shift your hips towards your right foot as your left leg straightens and your left toes are going to point to face the ceiling. Nice, Smiles. That's exactly it. Stay super low, and then you guys know the deal. You're just going to shift left and right. So do that a couple of times on your own. The slower, the better. You want to keep your hips as low to the ground as you can so that the shuffling left to right feels a little sticky. Good, Mark. Nice, Sarah. Good, Robert. See if you can get a little heavier through those heels in that half squat position. Yeah, really use the exhale there. Nice. Good, Miles. A couple more times, just feeling that blood flow through the hip joints. So the next time your right knee is bent, we're going to stay there, just so again, we're all on the same page. As we bend into the left knee again, you're going to bring your hands to the top of your mat and turn all 10 toes forward. It's almost like you're in a lunge. Now you're gonna place your right knee down and take your foot off the side of your mat as your left leg goes straight back up into the air and your left arm lifts. So we're back into that little side plank position. After all that mobilization, we strengthen the hip so that it can support that flexibility. So really feel the left quad engaged, almost like you're connecting the thigh bone into the hip socket. From here, bend your left knee into your chest so that your left hand can grab onto either the left shin, the ankle, or the foot, whatever it can comfortably grab. And then think of pressing your left knee towards the back of your mat as you send your chest forward. If it's comfortable, the foot kicks into the hand to open up through the front of that shoulder even more. Looking down for balance. Good. Steady breathing. Miles, try to kick that foot into your hand. You can let your foot come away from your hip. Yes. Get a bigger stretch through the shoulder. Roll that top shoulder back. Beautiful. Another breath in. And as you exhale, straighten your left leg, release the grip, and place the left foot at the back of your mat. Come into a plank pose or high push-up position. Taking a breath in that high push-up. When you're ready, exhale, bend your elbows and lower all the way down to a prone position. So the whole front body should be on the mat. Good. Reach your arms straight out in front of you. And then again, it's like you're rowing, like you can almost imagine like a lat machine or a pull down machine. As you inhale, you're gonna lift your chest and your head and try to pull the elbows back, like you're rowing yourself, elbows drawing as close to the hips or the waist as you can get them. Yes, really good. Big breath in. And exhale, just release your chest and your forehead down. So we're gonna do a similar T stretch that we did last time, but this time we're gonna get a little more into the meaty part of your pec. So with your right arm, you're gonna goal post it. So if you take your right arm out to the side, like we did last time in the T position, and then just bend the elbow so that your right fingertips point straight ahead, you should have a 90-degree angle in your right arm. Try to have the right palm flat on the floor and as much of the arm connected to the mat as you can. Now you're gonna roll onto your right side again. Generally, this is going to be tighter. This is a tighter set of muscles than the last one. So just be mindful as you're rolling. You might just stack your shoulders. You might stack your hips. Or like last time, if it's there, you can bend your top knee, which is your left knee, and place the foot behind you. Just be mindful that the front of the right shoulder isn't lifting away from your mat too much. We don't want to stress into the ligaments there, but rather get into the meaty part of the muscle. Just taking a few deep breaths with every exhale. Maybe you can kind of test the range a little bit more. On an inhale, let's come back to lying on our belly. The left arm now can stretch out to the side in that T position to start. And then you just bend the elbow so that the fingers point straight ahead and you have that 90-degree bend. Palm pressing down, elbow, as much of the front of the shoulder as you can get. And then you just slowly roll onto your left side, stacking your body and just feeling the opening through the front of the shoulder capsule and into the muscles of your chest. Same option to bend your top knee and place it behind you if that feels good. Hearing your breath, maybe counting it again. Inhale, let's come back through center so we're lying on our belly again. Slide both hands down by the waistline, upward facing dog. You're just gonna straighten your arms, lift your chest. Good. And then as you exhale, we're gonna come back into our tabletop position or our 4-point base. So we're gonna set up for our frog pose. This is a really nice hip stretch. So all you're gonna do is just step your right foot forward between your hands. However you get it there, just haul it up. You can use your hands, you can tighten your fingertips, whatever works. So from here, you're gonna send your hips back a little bit so that you can swing your left foot off the right side of your mat. And then take your hands off to the left. Now, drop your right knee. So it's almost like you're in a wide tabletop position. You're facing the long edge of your mat here, okay? So knees start wider than your hips. And then just depending on how the hips and the ankles are, you might stay here, or you can also try to now place the inside or the big toe edges of your feet on your mat. So your toes will actually be pointing off to the side. If you see Ben, you can kind of see his right foot there, just poking out from behind his knee. And the thing with this one is you want to keep your hips in line with your knees. So you don't want to shift too far forward, nor do you want to shift too far back. If this feels okay, you just slowly now start to take your knees further and further apart. Maybe eventually the front of the hips come down, maybe they don't. But when you're at your edge, you'll definitely know. And then you can come down onto your forearms. This is a really nice pose to do on something soft for your forearms so that you can kind of relax a little bit. But it's also really nice to stay upright as well. We're going to stay here a little longer than we did for some of the other postures. Press out through both heels so the ankles are really active. This will make sure that the knee joints are safe and the movement is coming from your hip joint. If you can, close your eyes. Do another quick scan. This is definitely a place where we hold unnecessary tension in the face, and the fingers, the neck, sometimes even the ears. And just kind of relax the places of the body that sort of have no place in this posture. Another 5 to 6 breaths. If you notice that you can maybe start to inch the legs another millimeter apart, take up that slack and move into that range. If not, stay where you are and continue to breathe. Let's take one more breath in. See if you can count all the way to 10 when you inhale. And breathing out, also counting to 10. To come out of this pose when you're ready, you're just gonna first come up onto your hands. Now shift the hips forward so you come out of your knees a little bit, and then it's easier to bring the knees a little closer together. Eventually, you're just going to bring your thighs all the way to touch and just sit your hips all the way to your heels, coming into a variation of child's pose. This is just going to help re-anchor the thigh bones after that big stretch. So you just want to use the weight of your own upper body to kind of press down on your thighs, relaxing through your arms and your neck and your head. From here, we'll do a back bend. So you're going to turn back onto your mat if you're still facing off to the side, back into our tabletop position with the toes curled under. Come into what I call a high kneel. So you're just stacked, hips over knees, shoulders over hips, and take your hands around your waist. With your hands around your waist, I want you to picture that you could push your hips down. So pressing the hips down, inhale, lift the chest up. And without squeezing the glutes, exhale, just press your hips forward. See if your hips can come forward of your knees. And when you do this a little bit, you'll just notice a natural opening to your chest and a slight arch to your spine. So just keep pressing your hips as far forward as they can go for you. Just keep arching through the back as much as it feels good. Feeling a nice stretch through the front of the legs. We're going to take 5 breaths here, hugging the elbows together, lifting the heart up, and pressing your knees down. Nice mark for 3. Hips can keep going forward. 2. They can come past the knees. Good. And 1. From here, untuck your toes and just sitting back onto your heels. you're in a kneeling position. So we're gonna come to something called a 90-90. This is a great way to mobilize your hips, and it's sort of like a small little sequence that I think is really nice that you can do anywhere. So you're just gonna sit onto your bum and bring your right shin parallel to the front of your mat and your left shin parallel to the side of your mat. So this is the 90-90 seat, or sometimes referred to as an S seat or a Z seat, right? Good. So Mark, just pull your left knee forward a little bit more so that you have a more, yes, perfect. And then Preston, see if you can take your right knee off to the right instead of to the left there. Yeah, even more, all the way to the other side of your mat. And have the shin parallel. Yes, perfect. And then bend your left knee and pull your knee forward. Excellent. Okay, so we're all here. Perfect. So all I want you to do here without the help of your hands is you're going to shuffle. So you're going to swing to face the side of your mat. So you're almost in a seated squat. And then as you exhale, you're going to just go to the left side. Okay, so you end up in a 90-90 facing the opposite direction. And you're just going to do this a couple of times. Go at your own pace. If you need the help of your hands, you know, it's definitely not like, it's not terrible to use them, but we want to try to use the hips as much as we can in this mobilization. Okay, so the next time you're in your starting position where your right leg was forward, you're starting in that 90-90, we're going to stay there. Again, without the help of the hands, inhale, we're going to sit tall. And as you exhale, I want you to think of hinging at your hip, just taking your chest forward about halfway, okay, without the help of your hands. Good. And in this halfway position where you're tilted forward, I want you to picture that you could lift your right leg up towards your chest. It's obviously impossible, but I want you to think of trying to do that. I'm just getting a nice stretch through the outer hip. And take a breath in, staying here for the breath up. Now, as you inhale, come back into a more upright position with the spine and really press the right leg down from the heel to the hip. So energy moving down to the floor. You're just going to pulse back and forth. So with an exhale, lean the chest forward and imagine trying to lift the leg up as though it could float off of the mat. And as you inhale, sit more upright and press the legs straight down. Just do that with your own breath. Don't worry, it doesn't matter how many times you do it, just look for that quality again. Good. So the next time you're more upright, we're going to stay there and we're going to side shuffle again. So come back into that sort of seated squat, open to the side, and then turn it around, go to the left. And just do that right and left a couple of times. Maybe it's a little easier this time. Maybe there's a difference on the size of your body. Just check it out. Good. So the next time you're in a 90-90 with your left leg in front of you, so opposite way that you were last time, you're going to stay there. So most likely you'll be facing sort of the back of your mat or the side. Doesn't really matter if you're completely on your mat. We're going to do that same thing. So take a breath in, sit tall. And as you exhale, lean the chest forward about halfway. And in this halfway position, imagine trying to lift your whole leg up from the heel to the hip as though it could just come off of your body and lift into your chest, and feel that effort there. Take a breath in, stay for the breath out. As you inhale, sit more upright and really press the leg down. Really feel the hip, knee, and ankle press into the floor. And just pulse through that a few times on your own. Use your breath. Good. Miles, if it's comfortable, take that left foot forward more. So it's more, yeah. And now press out through your heel like you're standing on it. Perfect. Right. The next time that you're upright, we're going to stay upright and we're going to do that little seated squat shuffle one more time. So just come back through center, over to the right side again, back and forth. Notice if there's a difference in the body, the ability of the hips to swivel the weight of your body back and forth. Nice, Sarah. Yeah, you guys should do that. Totally should hold hands and use each other. Super fun. All right, so the next time that your right leg is forward, you're facing back to the front of your mat again, we'll stay there. Then you can just swing your left leg around so that the soles of your feet are touching again. Very similar to how we started, but now we're seated. So for this first one, I want your heels pretty far away from your groin. So you should have a diamond shape between your two legs. Most likely the knees would be a little bit higher, and that's okay. Take a breath in, keep the soles of the feet together, and exhale, allow your back to round and just kind of flop into your legs here, okay? When the heels are further away, we're gonna work more into some of the external, the deep external rotators of the hip. And just in my 90 minutes of kayaking, these muscles got particularly tight. So these, I think these stretches are really nice because you kind of sit in this position in the kayak. And then sit up tall, inhale. We're gonna keep the soles of the feet together, but now you're gonna pull the heels as close to the groin as you can get them. Okay, and it's okay if the knees are up, it's all good. This is more to get into the inner thighs and the inner hips. So we're gonna take a breath in. And this time as you exhale, try to keep the spine long as you fold. So I'm trying to work the chest, almost as though the chest could go beyond the toes. Just keep pressing the soles of the feet together. Nice. The more you press your feet in, the more the outer glutes will activate and help the knees drop down. All right. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. You guys remember happy baby. So from here, you're going to grab a hold of your feet and you're just going to roll all the way down onto your back into that happy baby position. One of our first poses that we started with. And just take a couple of breaths, rocking around back and forth, left and right, like a happy baby here, stretching into your hips, which hopefully feel pretty good or a little better than they did when they started. Good. Keeping your knees bent, release your feet flat onto your mat again. Just lift your hips off of the mat just an inch. And now clench your bum to try and lengthen your lower back. And then keep your back that long as you just release your hips back down. Straighten your legs. Toes flop out to the side. Take your hands and interlace them at the back of the head, just at the top of the neck. Now lift your head up off of the mat just an inch, and then let your hands slide up your own head, like you're pulling your neck nice and long. You might even kind of tug on your hair and just slide your hands all the way up your head until they naturally kind of slip off. And then relax your head back down and just relax your arms wherever they're comfortable. Closing your eyes. And for a few moments, coming back to your breath. Listening to it as it moves in and out. Counting your breath in and out. And again, if the mind is busy, just staying with the breath. If the mind's quiet now, and just let the body be breathed. And keeping the body still, follow the inhalation and follow the exhalation. Notice that when you become aware of the breath, you become aware of your body and its weight, its outline. Become aware of your surroundings again and any noise or white noise, background noise there. Start to move the body, roll through the ankles and the wrists, trickle some movement down into the fingers and toes. Shuffle the hips and the shoulders underneath you, waking up all of your tissues. And then as you inhale, stretch the arms over your head, point your toes, and just get nice and long from tip to toe. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, relax fully and completely, no effort, no work. And in a way that's comfortable for you, transition to a seated position on your mat. Sitting tall through the spine, give the shoulders a big shrug up, back, and down so that the sides of your neck feel nice and long. We'll gather the hands together at the chest. And I thank you guys for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. If you have any questions, just let me know. I hope you guys really enjoyed that.